From the land of sky blue waters, welcome to the Sota Pod. Isha here, and I will be joined by SETH TOUPAL momentarily. And I thank you all for joining wherever and whenever you are listening. The greatest tournament in sports, ladies and gentlemen. The Stanley Cup playoffs have arrived. At the time of this recording, we are day 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. You guys will hear this Monday morning, so we won't be commenting. We won't be diving into, obviously, the games this Sunday, day of recording. But Seth and I have a big show planned for you guys here today. We are going to go through every matchup in the first round, not do like a deep dive, but give our prediction for the series, who we think is going to win and why. We'll talk a little bit Minnesota Wild. There's not too much to report. If anything, Seth has a few nuggets to drop, not me. And then we'll talk about some stories in the world of hockey, as well as the National Hockey League. Oh my God, we have to touch on that press conference with Gary Bettman and the now former owner of the Coyotes. We also have a great 420 inspired hoppy hour for you guys as well. For those who celebrated over the weekend, hope you had a great 420. For those of you who bet on Ryan Garcia to win in that boxing match yesterday, or Saturday, sorry, I hope you all won big. You have cojones, and I fucking love that. If you don't already, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Sota Pod. If you want the full experience, if you want the best experience of the Hoppy Hour segment, as well as the video version of this podcast, go check it out on YouTube. We post it in full. We also post video clips of our podcast recordings, of all our podcast recordings under the Sota Pod banner every single day. Judd's Buds every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. If you want to be part of that show every Wednesday, we do a live stream on the YouTube channel. But if you're just into the audio, if you're just a podcast guy or gal, that's cool as well. Check us out on all podcast apps. So we got the Hoppy Hour next year, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll bring on Seth to talk some hockey. Before we get into our next segment here, the Hoppy Hour, just want to give a shout out to our friends at Northland Vodka. Northland Vodka is the best damn vodka that I've ever had, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not just saying that because they are a hockey-inspired and local company, two things that I absolutely love. Whether you drink it neat on the rocks or mix it with Fresca like hoppy, using it for your Bloody Marys or whatever drink you prefer, it's the best vodka out there, ladies and gentlemen. Great people as well. Mark Parrish and the team are so awesome to work with. They're doing a lot of on-site signings and meet and greets at various Total Wines and other liquor stores around the cities as well. So check them out on social media to stay up to date with that. And if your local liquor store doesn't have Northland Vodka on the shelves, ask them why. Ask them why. A percentage of all sales go back into local hockey as well. Unbelievable people, unbelievable brand, unbelievable product. Northland Vodka, a proud supporter of the Sota Pod. Sit back, pack a bowl, twist one up, and let's get into the Hoppy Hour.
First, I'd like to propose a toast to UMD goaltender Alex Stalock. To Stalock! To Stalock!
I love that stuff. Been drinking it for years. You know, I heard they recently decided to add more hops to it.
You're all hopped out?
Back for another Sota Pod, and we're back on the THC Seltzers. You guys love seeing me get high on YouTube, so we're doing it again here. And we got the Prickly Pear Key Lime Smazey. Oh, kind of tastes like toothpaste. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Hoppy Hour on the channel, a little 420 edition.
Smoke weed every day.
As we have something funky here today. The Spread It PB&J Sour from Drekker Brewing Company. I'm not a big sour guy. You guys know this. If I wasn't feeling so, uplifted, I don't think I'd be doing this right now. I got the munchies. Peanut butter and jelly sounds amazing. Will it be as amazing in a sour beer? Let's find out. I'll take a sip, I'll talk about it, and then we'll check on what you all had to say about this on Untappd. Whoa, you really get a huge scent of peanut butter. Cheers, everybody. Oh, what the fuck? Oh. Nope. This is not for me. So at first, you get hit actually with that really good roasty peanut butter. Then some tardiness. I don't want to say fruity, but I guess tart from berries. Almost like blackberries or raspberries that aren't ripe. And then just a rancid taste, like the can melted into the frickin' product. It smells amazing. Oh, I just wish it was just straight peanut butter. It's not as thick as you would think. It's not as thick as it looks. I don't know, one more chance. No mas. No mas. I took one last sip right before I started editing, and this is the best way I can describe it. Peanut butter, quick flash of berries, then the smell of campfire smoke. Most of Drekker sours are smoothie sours, so they are kind of like the plops, kind of like the brains, very much smoothie style beers. This is a sour. This ain't no smoothie beer. Spread it, the PB&J sour. Doesn't say the percentage of alcohol in it. I've called Drekker out for this before. It's very much like Where's Waldo. You have to find where the alcohol percentage is. I'm not used to this because in Canada and British Columbia, like, it is there for you to see. It is front and center. Really, really cool can art. As always, it's Drekker. Grape, plum. Okay, so that's where that berry, that tartness came from. And peanut butter. Contains no lactose. So grape, plum, peanut butter. So plum and grape, that's the jelly. Or maybe it's grape jelly and the plum is the sourness. I don't know. I like a lot of peanut butter things, and I feel like if this was a smoothie sour, God, it would be probably a lot better. Well, let's top it off here before we see what those, and you guys, if you've had this before on Untapped, think about this. God, it starts off so well and ends so horribly. So I rated it 2.25 on Untapped. Let me know in the comments if that's too low, if I was being too harsh. So again, from Drekker Brewing Company, out of Fargo, North Dakota, the Spread It is a new and limited PB&J sour that's slathered with gobs of ooey gooey peanut butter, grape and plum for that sweet, savory, sticky, old, reliable, classic triple decker PB&J. Contains these nuts, but no lactose. Peanut butter, smooth, jam-like, berries, fruity, and sour. The majority of people described this beer as. It has an average rating of 3.84. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That is the Drekker bias. And if you've rated this more than a 3.5, shame on you. You're lying. No one's gonna come after you. If anything, I will follow you on Untapped because respect. You don't have to lie because you're part of this cult. I love Drekker, but come on. Come on.
I mean, come on.
Maybe I'm out to lunch here, but I can't be the only one who described this as rancid, can I? I described it as peanut butter, jam-like, berries, tart, and rancid. Why is the aftertaste so bad? It starts off well. It ends horribly. I don't like sours anyway, so maybe I was just doomed from the start. I came in with high hopes given that, God, it smells so good and it looks beautiful. And generally, anything that Drekker does is pretty damn awesome. But this one's just not for me. This one's just not for me. Let me know if I'm out to lunch here. Let me know if you like these beer reviews by liking the video, subscribing, and commenting what styles of beers you want me to review next. And if you know of any that are local to Minnesota or that are available nationwide that distribute here to the Midwest, let me know in the comments. Happy to review them next. Sorry, Drekker. Love you guys, but this one's just not for me. Hope you guys had a fun, responsible, and chill 420. We'll see you on the next one.
Before we dive into, I should comment on that quickly. Sours ain't my thing, ladies and gentlemen. Sours ain't my thing. I was gifted that. That was an interesting one. That might have been the most interesting most out there beer that we reviewed on this channel yet. On the SotaPod YouTube channel, you could argue that some of those other Drekkers from Drekker Fest in the summer, videos right here if you want to see them, were just as funky or funkier. I beg to differ. Okay. We've ragged the puck enough. Thank you guys so much, as always, for checking us out on YouTube and watching these full Hoppy Hour segments. Again, if you just listen to the audio to get the full experience of the Hoppy Hour, go check us out on YouTube. Before we bring on Seth here, just want to give a quick shout out to our friends at 7th Avenue Pizza. You can find 7th Avenue Pizza at Jerry Foods, Lunds and Byerly, Hy-Vee. Shoot, I even saw them at my friggin' local Speedway gas station. They are everywhere. They are taking over. It's the best frozen pizza ever. And they have so many sales going on this spring as well. I don't even order pizza anymore. I don't have to, because you get the quality from 7th Avenue Pizza. Great people, great local company, and they are so interactive and responsive on social media. If you want to ask when their next deals are, if you want to see if they have deals, if you want to see if they are in a grocery store near you, Matt and the team are so responsive on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check them out at 7th Ave Pizza, a proud supporter of the Sota Pod. All right, we are back for another hockey segment here on the Sota Pod. I say hockey segment because half the show now is just me doing these hoppy hour skits / beer reviews. By the way, if you have any suggestions, anybody watching, anybody listening, and Seth, for like, I don't even want to say just funny, but maybe like quirky skits that I can do that are related to the beers that I drink, I'll definitely like send you ahead of time. Hey, this is the beer that I'm drinking here. You got any ideas? Because like every week I'm kind of, I plan a little bit, but for the most part, I'm kind of just like, I just shoot as I go.
You're very free flow like I am.
Well, yeah, and this week was a sour peanut butter and jelly. Not my cup of tea, but I figured it might be in 420 inspired because I had some footage of me and Hoppy drinking some of the THC seltzers. So my whole skit was around, I got so high, I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That wasn't good enough, so I had a peanut butter and jelly beer.
Are you telling me it's peanut butter jelly time?
Oh, that clip was very much used as well.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Okay, well, I'll start doing that. I'll start letting you know, and maybe even Hoppy and Z, and they can tease it on Judd's Buds.
Yeah.
And you guys can give me some suggestions. I even told my City Life chat too. I was like, I'm always looking for suggestions, but because I'm filming now stuff even ahead of time. So, and I can't wait to film some stuff with Seth. He's going to have some appearances in some hoppy hours, even if they're not as quirky, some at least brewery tours and stuff like that in the summer. But that's summer stuff, Seth. We still have hockey to talk about right now. Not much Minnesota Wild talk. I'm rolling my eyes, every single one of you who think Jake Gensel is going to come to the Minnesota Wild. But I just literally told Seth we were not going to talk about that. He already had talked about that enough on his Locked On Wild show, and I know a lot of you listening were in that chat too. So we'll put that on the shelf until the conversation heats up again. But let's talk playoffs here. Let's talk NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So we're going to go through every single matchup. We're going to give our predictions, and we're going to talk about, why we predicted that. Let's start in the West. In typical Isha fashion here, and Hoppy will hate me for this. They're out of like the order that the bracket puts them in just because my notes are crazy. But we're going to start with LA and Edmonton. Seth, what is your prediction? How many games? Who wins and why?
You know, the funny thing is everything is telling me, and I should probably take this as a sign. Everything is telling me Edmonton wins this series, and yet I still am hesitant to pick them to do so. I don't know what it is. Like, this Kings team, they obviously had just a hideous stretch of play early on in the season that led to a coaching change. But it's like Edmonton is one of these, they're a great regular season team. They have been one of the best regular season teams since they started off the season slowly. But when they get to the postseason, what does it always come down to, Isha? The defense and the goaltending. And it depends entirely on if you are a believer in Stuart Skinner or not. And honestly, I think this is going to be just a crazy high scoring series because I don't really believe in either goalie situation going into this series. And so I just am going to pick the Kings just for the sheer fact that I have seen this story with Edmonton play out time and time again. And so I'm going Kings. I'm going Kings in 6. I have literally no reason.
I love it.
No reason to do it because Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are the two best players in the series. They both play for Edmonton. Like, Edmonton was just an insanely good power play team. All these things are lining up for the Oilers, and yet I'm still picking the Kings.
It's because, Seth, and I'm locking it in for you, this is not a good matchup for the Edmonton Oilers. I know you said you don't think the goaltending or you don't trust the goaltending for LA. Dude, I'm going to say trust. Trust. Cameron Talbot and David Rittich have been awesome this year. Now, I know playoffs is a different animal. In 24 games, David Rittich, 92 save percentage. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Jeez.
And Cam Talbot has been good as well. So, like, they have a good 1A and 1B in LA. So, goaltending, better. Depth of top-line players. The third line of LA, Philip Deneau, he's going to shut down one of those top lines. And then you have one of either the top or second line of LA going head-to-head with Edmonton's second line. And Edmonton's third line, though they have more depth than they've had in many years, and though their defense is actually pretty damn good on both ends, the defensive side and the offensive side, I think they're just going to keep coming. Like the pace that LA is going to play, and not that they're as fast as the Edmonton Oilers. Like if Connor McDavid is cooking, he can single-handedly put this team on his back and outscore anybody. But I think the LA, they have talented players up and down their lineup. They have good shutdown offensive players, and their goaltending is good. If anything, it's the defense from LA that I'm like, we'll see how that plays out. But Victor Arvidsson coming back after injury was awesome as well, and he had a couple points the other night. So I'm going LA in 6 as well. I have 6 or 7, but I'll say 6 as well.
The other thing too, I saw the initial line combinations for the Kings. They have Pierre-Luc Dubois as their fourth line center.
They don't even need him. They honestly don't even need him for this series.
If he does anything in this series,
great point.
That makes it even more, I think, in the Kings' favor. Like
100%.
that's an opportunity for a huge mismatch if he even shows up in this series.
That's what I'm saying. They have depth. Like they are 3, hell, even 4 lines deep of guys who can fucking play. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm glad I wasn't crazy in thinking this.
No. And people keep thinking like, and rightfully so, they haven't been a good team, but the last 2 years, LA's made playoffs.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like they're like the Canucks have had more of a playoff drought than the LA Kings, and they've come in swinging this season. But let's turn the page to the next one. Jets Avs. Who wins? How many games? And why?
This is Winnipeg's coronation for me. I have so many questions about the Avalanche goalie situation. Alexander Georgiev had like a meltdown at the end of the season, basically. And if things go wrong for him, are you going to go to Justus and Noonan in the postseason? I don't think you can. But look at it this way. I talked about this in the live show a little bit. There are 2 matchups to watch here. Colorado's offense versus Winnipeg's defense, and Connor Hellebuyck versus Alexander Georgiev. And I think Hellebuyck-Georgiev is a mismatch by a mile in the Jets' favor. I think the vibes going into this series are just so much better with Winnipeg than they are with Colorado. Jets in 5.
Jets in 5. I like it. I also have the Jets. I have them in 6. As much as I wanted to be bold and put 5, like the Avs are gonna. I just really think the Avs are gonna win 2 games. Even if one they squeak by in overtime, I do think like one of the big guns on the Avs will save them in a close game like that. But no, I mean, and it's funny because like I think I could be way off hyping the Jets and undervaluing the Avs, but you're on the same page as me. So it's kind of like how you felt in the LA one. I don't feel too off base here. It's kind of like the LA, Edmonton series that we just went over, in that the Avs lean on their top guys who absolutely slay. And if they're humming, they will win the games. But if there's any cracks in their game, or if they don't show up even 80%, if they show up like 78%, or if one gets an injury and they're just not, if McKinnon's not at like full throttle speed, this is a tough matchup for them. I mean, hell, the Jets are a tough matchup for anybody in the National Hockey League right now.
I think I just am at the point now where I think we are not acknowledging enough how good Winnipeg is.
Oh yeah, they have skill up and down the lineup and play a very heavy game. They aren't slow. They're not blazing fast, but they're not slow by any means. And their goaltending, like you said, quite frankly, is just so much better than the Avs. Like Laurent Brossoit is good as well.
Yeah.
Right? 23 games played, 92 save percentage as well. Like, bro, 5 losses, 15 wins. Like, yeah.
Best in the league. Best in the league at stopping teams from scoring. That tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. Even better than the Nashville Predators. In this next one that we'll talk about here. Canucks Nashville, Seth. What are your thoughts on this one? Don't do it to me.
Preds in 7.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Are the lights going to be too big for the Vancouver Canucks? First time that they've been in the playoffs since when, Isha?
Too long.
It's been a minute. And so are the lights going to be too bright? This is a Nashville team that has been playing. This is funny because Nashville's been playing really good hockey. It's just everybody above them in the West has also been doing the same. Yeah. So they didn't make up any ground. There was a time in which there maybe was a chance that they passed the Jets for 3rd in the division. UC Saros, you got Ryan O'Reilly, who's a proven playoff performer. I don't know. This is very much a show me series for Vancouver because it's either going to be that the spotlight is too bright for them, or they're going to put Nashville and the rest of the West on notice. Because if I recall correctly, they handled business against the Predators in the regular season pretty easily. So show me, and I'll do the Leo DiCaprio. You had my curiosity, and now you have my attention. That's just what I'm looking for.
No, and fair enough. I have the Canucks in 6 games because I do want to give the Nashville Predators the credit that they deserve. They are like the Jets. They're very good at shutting down guys. They lean on one guy in particular to score the goals, though, and then they shut shit down. And that's Philip Forsberg. Yeah, and I think the Canucks will be able to at least shut down some of his scoring. And then it's like, okay, then you're going to have to compete. That if the Canucks get 2 on you, if Forsberg is shut down, it's not going to be easy because what do the Canucks do well? They score. And for the first time in a long time, they have a very well-balanced defense. Is their offensive group as deep as as a Canucks fan want it to be? Or as deep as some of the other teams in the West? No, but JT Miller is an absolute superstar. Finally reached that 100 points, which is amazing. Elias Pettersson is buzzing. Quinn Hughes is literally on another planet. He's so good. He's one of the best American players out there right now. It's amazing. So they definitely are balanced on the back end. That Hronek guy, I mean, who'd have thunk that he would be, the stud that he has been this year as well. I do have in my notes, it could be 5 if the Canucks go on a scoring tear, but I do think I respect Nashville enough. I respect Saros. I respect their defense. I respect their whole system to at least win 2 of those games. The Canucks are back in the playoffs with a dangerous team. And yeah, you're right. The bright lights might get some of their younger guys, but a lot of the veterans on the team, Ian Cole, even Zadorov, JT Miller, they've been there before. They've been there before.
It wouldn't surprise me too in this series if Nashville does win. Don't be surprised if they have a negative goal differential, because I think they will need to win close. And I think if Vancouver wins games in this series, they will be able to pull away. Yeah,
no, for sure. And the Canucks have 5 players who have over 20 goals in the regular season. 10 over just 10 goals, which is vastly more than just the Nashville Predators, who have like a few 20 goal guys, and then the 48 goal scorer in Philip Forsberg. Nashville's great goaltending. Canucks have good goaltending as well. Casey DeSmith has been really good in relief at Thatcher Demko, so that's my one thing. Demko's kind of a band-aid, though he's been better as of late. He even was banged up this year recently. He's coming back. He's looked good towards the end of the season, but Casey DeSmith is good in relief. Fast forward group, not the biggest team, but have some big guys on the back end in Myers and Zadorov. And I'm confident the Canucks get this one done, but I don't think it's going to be like a sweep like Canucks Nation thinks that they landed the easiest matchup, and I don't think that's the case. All right, last but not least in the West, we have Dallas, Vegas. This bloodbath of a Western Conference playoffs, is it not, Seth?
I need 7 games from this series.
Hell yeah, let's go.
I need 7 games from this series. Dallas has, it's insane what Dallas put together this season. They have 8 players with 20 or more goals,
Yep.
2 30-goal scorers, and I had my guy Johnny Lazarus on for a playoff preview. Their 30-goal scorer, one of them was their third line center, Wyatt Johnston.
Who's 20 years old.
It's psychotic what they put together. Jake Ottinger has been rolling in the right direction for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's been good.
Really got himself to a point where he looks like he can kind of get to that form he was in a couple of years ago.
And Wedgwood's a good backup too.
Wedgwood is a great backup, but we know the story. Vegas is Vegas. They're going to get Mark Stone back. They got Tomas Hertl back at the end of the regular season. They just find the space to just stash these guys until it really matters. And they are the defending champions. They're not going to be an easy out. I just think that Dallas has a little more that they can throw at the Vegas Golden Knights than Vegas can throw at Dallas. And so I'm picking Dallas in 7. I think 3 of the games in this series will go to overtime.
I like it.
It's going to be that, it is that thin of a margin between these two. I think this is going to be just an unbelievably good series.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas. I'm going Dallas in 6. I think they make it look. I think they make it look easier than we all are predicting. The injured guys for Vegas are just now coming back. They don't have any time to get into a rhythm of not only just playoff hockey, but hockey in general.
In general, yeah.
And maybe that doesn't matter to some of them, but they're coming back to play a series against a motherfucker of a team in Dallas who have, like you pointed out, young guys in the top 6, not to mention their old farts who were superstars in their prime, who are still producing. When you got the Sagans and Bens, 60, 70-point guys still, who may not be as quick as they were back in the day, but who are still top guys in the league on as your second, your second and third option, that man. And it's not like we're just saying that this is how it is on paper. We saw it all season. We've seen it transpire. They are the best team, or one of the best teams in the West. They're disciplined overall as well. If you look at all the penalty minutes of their players, Ben usually his wires will cross in the playoffs, but throughout the regular season, they've been disciplined. So maybe they bring that into the playoffs a little bit more than they have in years past as well. They are the deepest team in the playoffs, in my opinion. In the entire National Hockey League playoffs, Dallas is the deepest team. They're big, they're skilled. Seth talked about the 8 players with 20-plus goals. The young guys, they're the ones they lean on, yet the old farts are the one who are going to get it done come crunch time. I don't think this is Vegas's year, man. I think Dallas actually absolutely trounces them.
I honestly, if I hadn't really made a pick for who I thought was going to get to the Stanley Cup, but I have a hard time, much to the detestment of Wild fans, I have a hard time not picking Dallas.
Yeah, I got them winning it. I picked them to win it. I dropped a little coin on them winning it too.
They just can beat you in so many different ways. Honestly, it's insane.
They're so good.
It's impressive. It's
how that organization has built that team, Seth, has been nothing short of tremendous.
Yeah, and it's been 100% like a draft and develop.
They've never had to bottom out. They've just stayed a fucking top team, and they've switched out their defense. They switched out their forward group. They switched out their goaltending without any speed bumps. It's truly incredible.
Miro Heiskanen was, I think, the 4th overall pick. That is the highest they have drafted, and the fact that Jamie Benn has just been there as long as he has also helps. But then
Sagan too, yep.
Impact trades, they go out and they get Sagan. They drafted Ottinger at 21, I think it was.
They picked him over Thatcher Demko, which were the top 2 goalies in that draft.
Jeez, they just got it right.
Yeah, no, they've been awesome. So a series that's going on right now as we are recording, so on Sunday, is the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers. Regardless of the outcome, we're just going to give our predictions and picks anyways. God, I love how there's just playoffs every single day now, Seth. This is amazing.
It is literally the best. And I love that the NHL realized, I love that they didn't try to fight the NBA, because the NBA was like, okay, we're going to take Saturday. That's going to be our full day. The NHL said,
goes fine.
Okay,
we'll take Sunday.
We'll get it started. We will just go full bore Sunday. I love it. There's a lot that we gripe about for the NHL, but Sunday hockey, full day of playoffs, you cannot beat it.
Yeah, starting at 11:30 for us here in Minnesota, ending at 11:30 probably.
Just the best.
It's gonna be awesome. Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning. Seth, how do you got this one?
I need 7 here. I need 7 games from this series too. And I have, even though Florida has been the better team all season, I have the Lightning in 7. I think the Lightning squeak it out because man. It's just the numbers that he put up are just insane.
People keep saying, "Oh, Connor McDavid this, Connor McDavid that." Bro, Nikita Kucherov. Like, my God, dude. He's like, I don't give a fuck, man. I just go out there and play hockey, whatever. I don't want to block shots. I just want to score goals.
Well, and I think like it again comes down to who do you trust more? And for me, no slight to Sergei Bobrovsky for the year that he put together, but if you're asking me for a goalie performance to steal you a game, I have way more trust in Vasilevsky to do that than I do in Bobrovsky. So I think it comes down to the goaltending and the special teams, and I think Tampa Bay has the advantage in both categories.
I love it. We're going head to head on this one because I think the Florida Panthers are going to take this one, and I also think it will be 7 games. I think that though Florida is an offense-first team, they are grittier than the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning, in their playoff runs, have had that grit.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more of an offense first team without any of that, get in your face, fuck you type of attitude that the Florida Panthers have. And I'm not just referring to Tkachuk. I'm actually referring to fucking Sam Bennett, who is one of the best players you can have on your team in the National Hockey League playoffs. They also have an absolute rat in Jonah Gadjevich, a former second-round pick for the Vancouver Canucks, now playing for the Florida Panthers. Like, Florida's, other than, Tkachuk, are like pretty disciplined. Then you look at like Gadjevich, who's like 100 plus penalty minutes. He is a rat out there, and he's young. He's not super quick, but he's young enough where he can be that rover and be that fuck you player out there and get in the head of some of the Tampa Bay Lightning player. Tkachuk will get in your head regardless because he's going to score goals and be in the box for half the game. I love how talented Florida is. They're hard to play against because they're go with their fast pace. And me saying this isn't saying that Tampa Bay isn't any of these things other than not having the grit either. I do think actually that Florida has the overall goaltending edge because Stolarz has been nothing short of incredible this year either with a 92 save percentage. So if somehow Vasilevsky can't play the whole series, if Bobrovsky can't play the whole series, you know what I mean? Like if the backups have to show themselves in this 7-game series, the Florida Panthers have the better backup.
Yeah, like who do you need to come in relief even and get you a win in a clutch situation? Yeah, that's a good point. It just comes down to executing on special teams, and Tampa Bay has the huge edge there.
Yep.
And Vasilevsky he's done it. He's done it for years.
No, he has
in the postseason.
Yeah. All right, Bruins Leafs.
Toronto might be in trouble.
Toronto's in big trouble.
That doesn't mean that the series is like effectively over by any stretch.
The fan base think it is.
But what a statement by Boston. And there were 100 combined hits, 103 combined hits in game 1 between the two. Like, it's a physical series. Both teams hate each other, but Wild fans saw this play out against the Dallas Stars. Like, the Bruins were focused on playing the hockey, and Toronto was the one trying to set the tone. And what did that get them? What did that get Toronto in game 1? That got them a 5-1 loss.
Dude, when they went like 3 men on Pasternak and still couldn't take him down in front of the net, I was just laughing. I was like, man, sit down, little bro. Sit down, little bro. The Boston Bruins are daddying you. It's absolutely insane.
Ryan Reeves skating around trying to fight people, and Boston players just laughing at him.
Yeah, I mean, I do love Ryan Reeves. That's the only redeeming quality of the Toronto Maple Leafs. But
it's like, I don't think people realize this. There's a lot at stake for Toronto with going into the offseason. I mean, if you lose in round 1 again, is that it for Sheldon Keefe? Like,
100%. It has to be, because it's like you can't keep doing the same thing every year and it not working. I get like, and you can't keep using the same excuse. Well, the East is stacked. It's like, bro, this is the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is the play. If you are a Stanley Cup team, if you are a Stanley Cup coach, then you get your team out of the first round.
You got to just rise above it at some point.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I have the Bruins in 5 games.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I will say the gentleman's sweep. I think Toronto maybe gets 1 at home, but this is, and I don't be surprised if we see similar results to this throughout the series. Like, I would love for this to go 7, and I think I said in the Locked On Wild show playoff preview that it was going to go 7. No, I saw all I needed to see from both teams to declare this one, by all accounts and purposes, over.
The Leafs have no heart. They got no dog in them. Bruins, like you mentioned, better at following the game plan, knowing the assignment, not letting any distractions of the game within the game get to them.
Yeah.
Talented in their own right, and this will be forever. Just the Boston Bruins coming back in that game 7 years ago in the half lockout season. I don't even think there's a single Leafs player still on the team from then, but that just haunts that arena. That just haunts that fan base. It will forever be in their heads once you put a Maple Leafs jersey on, and I absolutely love it. All right. Oh, this one's sad because everyone knows how much of a Capitals. It's weird because like I cover the Wild, so obviously like my a part of my heart is with this team, and I do like root for the Wild, and like I watch more Wild hockey than any other hockey these days. Anyways, obviously Vancouver's like my number 1. I grew up there. I've always had a soft spot. I feel like you have like your number 3. I've always had a soft spot. I've always rooted for the Washington Capitals. So this one kind of hurts. I'm very excited and happy for them that they made the playoffs over Philly and Pittsburgh, but holy fuck, they're playing New York, Seth. What do you predict in this one?
Well, this is my one crazy prediction.
Yes, I love it.
I'm kidding.
Damn it. I was hoping you'd have this like great case for the Capitals.
I wish I could. And honestly, like I think it's gonna be. I get similar vibes to Islanders Hurricanes.
Except with less tools.
Yeah, that I do to this series is I think Washington will, if they're going to win these games, it has to be close. I think there is pull away factor hugely for the Rangers. I can't come up with a scenario in which the Capitals win more than maybe 1 game. So I'm just going to throw them the benefit of the doubt and say Rangers in 6. I think Ovechkin maybe makes the Rangers sweat it a little bit, but there's no way they win this series.
Look at the firepower compared to what we just saw with the Washington Capitals.
It's notably different. And the only reason, honestly, that I'm even giving Washington a chance in 1 or 2 games is because of how good Charlie Lindgren's been.
Yeah. No, agreed. He's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. I am rooting for the Washington Capitals. I think that maybe, just maybe, the Minnesota boy, the goaltender that we're cheering for, maybe maybe he helps them get 1 game. So this one's maybe even the most biased. This is more biased than even the Vancouver Canucks. I think the New York Rangers in 5. I think Washington gets 1 game. If Washington wins this series, this is the biggest upset in sports history. I'm going to say right now, folks.
This is the equivalent of a 16 beating a 1 in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah. If anything, we should be the National Hockey League should be charging everybody extra and give Matt Rempe and Tom Wilson pay-per-view points, because that is the real matchup in this series.
That's literally what it is too. Is the Rangers won the President's Trophy, and Washington was the last team to get in.
With
So
with a negative goal differential of was it 30 something?
Yeah,
it was insane.
This is truly the 16 versus the 1. This is truly David versus Goliath.
That's why I'm saying, I'm not even exaggerating because I'm a hockey guy over other sports. If the Washington Capitals come out of this series, the winners, this will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upsets in professional sports history.
Yeah, that would be Charlie Lindgren would never pay for another thing in Washington for the rest of his life.
Bro, I'm saying right now, Dana White, give $50K to the boys, Matt Rempe and Tom Wilson this next weekend, because that's someone's got to give them pay-per-view points.
That would be
shaving some brain cells off. Hashtag all caps. I'll take a ×2 OT Game 7 for old time's sake if the Capitals do lose this series, because that would be absolutely insane if they did go to Game 7. But I got the Rangers winning in 5. Go Ovi, go Charlie. Let's get her done.
Give them hell.
All right. Last but not least, Carolina, New York Islanders. What do you got, Seth?
I mean, pretty good fight by the Islanders early on in Game 1, but I think we saw exactly what we expected to see. Maybe just that the Islanders were able to hang in that game a little longer. Carolina just has too much firepower. I mean, the Islanders do theoretically have the goalie win matchup there, but lineup wise, it's Carolina and it's not even close.
So yes, depth, balance, defense is good. It's just if their goaltending should, because look at how many guys they fucking iced this year. That's crazy.
Yeah, the Islanders are going to have to win these games 2-1, 1-0. Because I don't think their offense can put up a ton of goals in this series. And that's why I think it comes down to the depth. I just think Carolina has more. They can beat you with more. If their top guys get shut down, they have more guys that can step in to try to take advantage. And I don't think the Islanders, it may be a close series score-wise, but Carolina this is an outlast kind of a series for Carolina, and I think they do so.
Yeah, I think in every game we see, the Carolina Hurricanes will have the better third period.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and I'll say Hurricanes in 5.
I have the Hurricanes. This is my only sweep of the first round. I have the Carolina Hurricanes whipping out the brooms, sweeping the New York Islanders. Also, fuck Patrick Waugh, that arrogant prick. Look, the Islanders understand the assignment, and are dialed in after the Patrick takeover. They're solid. They got good goaltending, like you said. But yeah, the Carolina Hurricane, their only crack is if their goalies, shit the bed. If their goalies are fine, they win the series easy. Like I said, deeper talent wise, faster. Prove they can grind out a win as well, and just kind of press on the gas a little bit in the third and, take it home. And Jake Gensel's a fucking monster.
He's insane.
Dude, he's a fucking he is not human, dude. In 17 games there, 25 points, 17 assists, 8 goals since being acquired. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? He's their best player. It's insane. Absolutely insane. There's no way he's signing with the Wild, guys. There's no way he's signing with the Wild.
I'll take it one step further, too. I feel like the Game 1 game plan went perfectly for the Islanders, and the Hurricanes still won. They played exactly the way that they needed to, and the Hurricanes still won it. That's when you know you're fighting an uphill battle. Agreed.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's our preview. There's our predictions for the first round of the playoffs. When the second round rolls in, we'll do the same thing, Seth. There's some free content courtesy of the National Hockey League.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get into a few stories, 3 stories in the world of hockey. I mean, do we really have anything wild to touch on, Seth? I mean, I keep just kind of trolling, saying that the Jay Gensel I mean, I have a little IIHF World Championship stuff that we can dive into that's related to the Minnesota Wild. That'll be the last thing, but barring any Wild players linked to the World Championship, is there anything else you want to bring up before I bring up two stories?
I guess really the only thing, like we had all the exit interviews on Friday, and the only thing that stood out to me was
that question to Kirill Kaprizov.
Well, also that.
I should have brought that video forth, but like that, what a terrible question.
The fact that Brock Faber played the final 2 months of the season with fractured ribs.
That is insane given how well he played.
And Bill Guerin said it too, like nobody knew. He just kept showing up to work every day. We kind of figured like at late in the season there was that one practice that he missed, and they were saying that he was going to be a game time decision. Kind of figured that there was something, but can you imagine going through the? If he doesn't
win the Calder now, he fucking played better than Bedard with broken ribs, ladies and gentlemen.
Just think of all the different range of motion you have to do.
We saw him play. I was fooled. He looked elite with broken ribs.
It further
unreal.
It further underscores, because there were a lot of people that were pointing out, well, his production has certainly tailed off. And ironically enough, it coincides exactly to that timetable.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, fuck off. He's a defenseman.
The pre-injury, his wins above replacement, he was hitting at a 94%, which is insane. Afterwards, he was at like 39. So there's a notable difference.
Yeah, but he's still clocking in 26 minutes plus.
I wouldn't be able to do 30. A show with
That's
fractured
insane.
Ribs, let alone play 28 minutes a night.
Bro, I wouldn't even get out of bed.
No, it's like dude is just an insane. He's a stud. It further underscores that whatever money the Wild give him for an extension, he is worth more than that.
And he's earned it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolute warrior, dude. That is amazing, dude. He's one of my favorite players, not just Wild players right now to watch in the National Hockey League. He's amazing.
And people were, I think he was asked when it was brought up, that he had some injury stuff to figure out. He was more pissed off that it was going to eat into his time to train for next season. It's
God, I love this player, man.
Dude, take a minute.
The Wild are so lucky. Wild fans, you have no idea how lucky you are to have a defenseman like this kid. You have no idea.
Take 2 seconds to be I'm okay. I obviously didn't feel great, but no, he just was I need to do better. I need to find a way with fractured ribs to play better. Come on.
Dude, what an incredible athlete. What an incredible young man.
Give him the C right now.
Pay this man his money.
10 million. I don't care what it is. It's worth it.
Lock him up. All right. Awesome there. Yes, I totally forgot to even include anything from the exit interviews, but that being the most important tidbit. So thank you, Seth. That's why we have you here, to save the show, to keep it back on the rails. Okay. This we have to just talk a little bit about not necessarily Arizona moving to Utah anymore, because we actually did a pretty big breakdown on that in last week's episode. So if you haven't caught up yet on the Sota Pod, go check that out. But this clip of Alex Morello at the press conference. I mean, look, hockey may come back to Arizona someday, and I truly believe it will, Seth, via expansion team. Morello will not. Gary Bettman, who has been holding this man's hand, who's been defending this guy and this team for the last 20 years, okay, the last 15 plus years when they've been really actually big talks of them moving, fed up with this puppet of a man, with this egotistical, no balls business owner in Morello. Guys, just check out this small clip from the interview or from the press conference.
A good situation.
Well, and that's the point. From our standpoint, it's not a major league facility, and
It's not.
we had enough time in a college rink, as nice as a college rink as it is. The question that you're really asking is, was he losing a lot of money? You betcha. He was losing a ton.
Thank you for that. I didn't want to say that because I don't think, look, at the end of the day, fans don't really care.
I got it.
Rich ass business, owner right there. Rich at we're talking billionaire type fucking ego right now. Well, I didn't want to say it. Gary Bettman's like, shut the fuck up. You beta male. One sec.
I want to say that because I don't think, look, at the end of the day, fans don't really care.
I got it. I said it. You don't have to say it. Yeah. But no, he did what he had to do. I mean,
one more time, so one more time, because that just.
Thank you for that. I didn't want to say that because I don't think, look, at the end of the day, fans don't really care.
I got it. I said it. You don't have to say it. Yeah. But no, he did what he had to do. I mean, the club is the club in good standing, and even though it's now going to be inactive, but they were meeting their obligations as they came due, despite the fact that the expenses were greatly exceeding the revenue.
Imagine losing a punchable face competition to Gary Bettman.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the few who actually, I don't want to say I'm in his corner, but I don't hate Gary Bettman like every sheep hockey fan.
He's not the worst commissioner in sports right now. By
He's
any
grown
stretch.
hockey more than any other commissioner in history.
But like the other point too is it takes, like, Gary Bettman is very much pro owners. So to get to the point where he is visibly annoyed with you,
Dude, he literally touched the shut the fuck up is what he wanted to say.
that dude. Oh man,
Dude, that was
And then
embarrassing.
to
Like
do
from
the
like
whole-
like Seth, just from like from as a man, I feel embarrassed. As a man, that little ass Gary Bettman, shut up, beta. Shut up, son.
the fact that, like, the other thing too was when he said that he hates media, like, you haven't done any. The new owner did more media in an hour than Morello did in his entire tenure as owner of the Coyotes.
That's the same with Vancouver and the Aquilini, man. He never, like, that whole 10 years of darkness for the Vancouver Canucks, he like maybe went in front of the camera like 3 times, and it's like, bro, like, you're the one making these decisions. You have to let the fans know why. So
It's a two-way street. Like, you get good coverage if you provide it. And I don't know, those cameras caught it. It's not like any of that footage was taken out of context.
Oh, no.
Gary Bettman hates that guy's guts.
Yeah, after being in his corner for how many years now? Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Oh, man, the moment they get the opportunity to, like, here's how you're going to see this now, because the whole thing was that there was like a 5-year window, I think, for Arizona to get an expansion franchise. NHL is going to this is a waiting game now. The NHL is going to try to stretch this so that they don't have to deal with this guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. All right, we're going to get serious here just for a moment here, guys, because this is another bad look, not necessarily for Hockey Canada, because they weren't necessarily involved in this, but definitely for that hockey, that toxic hockey culture that we're seeing more and more in Canada than in some of these developmental avenues in the United States. Now, I actually wrote a paper about hazing in hockey in university, and I followed up on it a couple years later in my final semester. And it's everywhere. It's in the United States. It's in Canada. It's in Europe. It's everywhere. But it's more prevalent in Canada. It's more prevalent in junior hockey in Canada. And maybe just because there's more players up there in junior hockey and that's the sport that Canadians play. So maybe there's more cases because of those numbers. I haven't, and I don't remember if I looked into it that much in depth at the time when I was doing some research. But I'm saying all this because yet another just gross fucking case in the world of hockey has come up here, where the Manitoba RCMP have arrested 3 teenagers suspected of sexual assault towards teammates in a hockey incident. Is this Hockey Canada culture? Is this prevalent in the NCAA or high school hockey as much as this? Well, we're certainly not hearing about it, south of the border. We're hearing about it in Canada at both low-level private schools in Manitoba and Saskatchewan and British Columbia, and at the highest level of Hockey Canada, the World Junior Hockey Team as well. Police alleges 3 17-year-olds sexually assaulted 5 younger teammates ages 15 and 16 in November of 2023 and January of 2024. 3 teenagers were arrested last Monday, Seth. 2 for sexual assault with a weapon, and 2 also sexual assault and forcible confinement, and 1 for sexual assault and assault. The incident alleged to have occurred during a Pembina Valley High School hockey team trip to Winnipeg for the tournaments. The incidents occurred in a Winnipeg hotel, first reported to the police February 20th, 2024. All victims are male hockey players and were rookies on the team. These players have a court date June 10th. If you guys want more on the incident, more on the story, the CBC did a very good article that they posted on April 16th. And there are a few publications south of the border that have talked about it as well, but I would say that the CBC probably has the better one, more detailed one right now. I mean, why does this keep fucking happening, Seth?
Because there is no zero tolerance policy.
Yeah.
There has to just be a zero tolerance policy for any of these types of things until you start appropriately punishing for this kind of stuff. It's
criminally at this point, which is what the Manitoba police said.
It's just going to continue to happen.
Yeah. It's fucked up, man. And this is low level. I haven't heard of any of this high school league or these tournaments at all. And it's like, wait, this is some 80s junior hockey type shit that's going on right now. Yeah. Sexual assault with a weapon, forcible confinement. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, it's fucking gross, man. And I hope if the alleged assaulters here, suspects, if they have been arrested, if they are tried and found guilty, I mean, I hope that helps a little bit. That this, even for juveniles, this is not going to fly anymore. You are going, we're going to hit you with the fucking law and you will go to prison.
And for the they were kids, they didn't know any better crowd, there have to be consequences. I'm sorry.
It's fucked up that it's fucked up that we're seeing women and male teammates, regardless of fucking gender, get sexually assaulted. This shit's fucked, man.
Yeah, you if you're gonna eradicate it, you just have to throw the book at people. That's all there is to it. And
absolutely,
it's just there's no place for it in hockey. It is something that still just
there's no place for it in any sport. But yes,
yeah, it's still way too prevalent. You got to start just taking active steps to eliminate it.
Yeah. And Rick Westhead, of course, of TSN, he's on top of all these stories. Great investigative sports journalist. He first reported on this in February and has obviously followed up on it as well. I don't think he's published anything on it yet, but like I said, this is still pretty new. Came out last week, the follow-up story to it anyways. And the CBC right now has the most detailed piece on it, but Rick Westhead probably will cover it in June. Anyways, hard right turn, but we're going to take it. We just had to highlight that here, guys, because we got to call out these scumbags and we have to shed light and not keep these stories, not, brush these stories under the rug. Because I know this is a USA-based podcast and that it's Minnesota Wild and Minnesota Craft Beer, but I'm Canadian. We're both, hockey nuts here. And this is something that's happening in the game in general. And I will 100% point to Hockey Canada and tell them to fuck off and fuck you when more of this shit keeps occurring. But anyways, like I said, hard right turn, we're going to take it and we'll end off with a little bit more, I guess, Wild-based news, but mostly USA hockey news, as head coach of the Minnesota Wild, John Hynes, has been named Team USA coach for the IIHF World Championships that will be starting on May 10th. And I believe final rosters will be coming out in 2 weeks. Also, Brock Faber, I guess, won't be competing with broken ribs, even though he did say he wanted to. Brock Faber originally was slated to compete. I guess not. If he did, then he's based as fuck. But Matt Boldy will be going. Do you think that there's any other Wild players that might answer the bell?
It's hard to say.
Have you heard any whispers of any other Wild players?
I have not as of yet, but it is I don't think anybody should be surprised by this because of the fact that Bill Guerin is the general manager. his guy, John Hines, his guy. And honestly, like,
I like it.
From a game perspective, I know there's a lot of frustration with how the young guys are handled, like from a Minnesota Wild perspective. But Hines is he's pretty good tactically.
When he has pieces, yeah.
Yeah, he's good tactically. And so from a battle general perspective, I think it's a great fit. And I'm kind of excited to see how this roster looks.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a low-key, a really good world championship. I'm 90% sure Zuccarello is gonna go play for Norway. I know that Liam Ugren's going to Sweden.
So is Johansson, it sounds like.
Okay, is Ek going too? Because holy fuck, if he did, that would be crazy.
I think so.
Oh man, see, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that's why I love the Worlds. It definitely goes under the radar because obviously the Stanley Cup playoffs get priority. And this is in the Czech Republic, this one, so it's going to be in Prague, and I have no idea the other city that they're hosting it as well. But if you have the time to tune in, there's going to be some good games on May 10th. We have Switzerland, Norway, Slovakia, Germany, Czech versus Finland, Sweden versus USA, Canada gets a layup in Great Britain. How are you? And then Kazakhstan and France are also playing. Dude, Canada is going to destroy them like the women's, because the women's just wrapped up their world championship when the women's beat Japan like 11-0. It was hard to watch.
Keep it within 10.
Yeah, dude, watching the USA women beat Japan 10-0, it just hurt. Because like, I'll say this: the Japanese women, they were able to handle they had the basics down to a T.
Yeah,
but like, you can't just behind the net pass up the boards, try to chase it against the American women, and the American women were like twice their size. They absolutely, it was. I thought I was going to see a murder on the ice.
They're like, you're going to go this route. Okay, well, we can do this.
Yeah. No, but other notable names in the world: Connor Bedard's going for Canada. Crosby seems to be being currently wooed. He hasn't made a decision yet, but Connor Bedard's going to go. And how cool would that be to see, Bedard and McDavid playing on Canada? And there's more and more names in the next week that are going to be announced going to this team. And I believe, it might even be next week that the rosters are announced, given that we start on May 10th. USA, by the way, has not medaled since 2021, where they earned the bronze. So wow. just saying. And I do say earn because you have to win a game to get bronze. You lose a game to get silver. Silver's the loser medal. But bronze, you actually have to play a game to get bronze. So I respect bronze almost more than silver.
Could you imagine if we get Ovechkin and Kaprizov? Well, no, because Russia's not in it, are they?
Oh, I know. I said that on... did I say that on your show? I might have said that on your show or last week's show. But yeah, I know that's what fucking sucks. Because Ovi used to go every single year because the Capitals would lose in the first round.
Yeah, he'd just fly right over to Moscow and join them. But yeah. Anyways, excited for the Worlds. An extra little something for all you hockey fans in the next couple weeks, Seth. In the next couple weeks. Cool. That's going to be taking place in Czechia. But that is it. That is everything that I have here, Seth. What do you got coming up this week on Locked On Wild? We are peeling the onion back. We're going to take a look at everything that went wrong this week, but also how to fix it. We'll talk about goalie play will be one week or one episode. Special teams will be an episode. Secondary scoring will be an episode. We're just going to take all these different problem areas and try to figure out ways to improve them.
I like it. And you're still going to be streaming throughout the off season, correct?
Yeah, I think we're going to do every other weekend for the off season. Just, want to keep that part of the content puzzle going. But now that we are in the off season, obviously I am going to be, taking time to enjoy the weekends. And so we're kind of finding that happy middle ground. And so every other week you can still hop in for the live show on Sundays on the Locked On Wild YouTube channel.
Well, Seth, the Wild may not be in the playoffs, but at least we still have our team.
Because the team's leaving, but you know what? These people, they persevere. They've tried to take our guns. They're taking our team, but mark my words, hockey will be back.
They're trying to take our guns. Now they took our team, but I assure you, hockey will be back. That's Heat Daddy on Twitter, by the way.
Oh, that's why I was gonna say. I feel like that person looked familiar.
Oh my goodness. As always says, thank you very much, guys. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, Locked on Wild. Go check out his podcast, and we will be back next week to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs and hopefully some more news from Team USA or any Wild players who are going to be in the IIHF World Championship. As always, Seth, thank you very much. That's it. That is the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Seth, as always, for joining. Before we wrap up here, I just want to give a big shout out to our friends at Better Edge. Guys, if you're not using Better Edge yet, what are you waiting for? You hear me talk about it every week, not only on this channel, but now on the City Life Project YouTube channel, is I'm winning big betting on boxing and MMA there. Check out my picks. Beware if you want to challenge me for them. But if you are feeling tough and you know a little bit about MMA, and I have made some playoff hockey picks as well, if you think you know more than me, or you want to take or challenge any of my bets or picks, go to betteredge.com/SotaPod. That's betteredge.com/SotaPod to receive a $20 sign-up bonus. You're playing with free money. If you think you're going to beat me anyways on my picks, you might as well get rich doing so. Tread lightly, though. Tread lightly. Guys, we also do, all season, we did Wild Game Day Pick'ems. We're going to do some fun stuff as we go through the playoffs as well. So Hoppy and I, through the SotaPod account there, so add us when you sign up as well. We're going to be hosting a lot of tournaments, a lot of games, a lot of brackets. It is a free platform with legal betting. That's right, legal betting in the great state of Minnesota among 44 other states. If you're already a user, if you've already burned through that promo, $20 to play around with, betteredge.com/SotaPod. You can become a Better Edge premium member. There's so much more you can get out of the app as a premium member. You have access to free entry to premium pick'em contests, order grades, advanced order filtering, API access, and more. More details at betteredge.com/premium. But if you're a new user, again, betteredge.com/SotaPod. We love our friends at Better Edge, a local company here. Great people. betteredge.com, a proud supporter of the SotaPod. All right, we have playoffs to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Signing off, I'm Isha alongside my good pal, Seth TOUPAL. This has been the SotaPod presented by our friends at Better Edge, 7th Avenue Pizza, Northland Vodka, and Waggle Golf. Don't fear, just drink some beer and stay wild.